I thought menopause was just hot flashes and night sweats. Turns out it brings a whole slew of symptoms. One of the symptoms is joint pain, regardless of where it is. Today I want to talk about frozen shoulder because that's the one that affected me the most and lasted the longest. It was so painful. Frozen shoulder is when the muscles around the shoulder joint become so inflamed that it limits your ability to move the shoulder or move it to its full range of motion. Now, the pain for me started not last summer, but the summer before. Little backstory, I'm a licensed dental hygienist and I'm a massage therapist as well. So 2 summers ago, I thought that maybe I'd injured myself because, I didn't think it through when I picked these 2 professions. But anyway, the pain became so intense that I couldn't do any external rotation with my shoulder. I had trouble putting my shirt on, I had trouble pulling my pants up, I had trouble driving. Of course, it was in my right shoulder and I'm right-handed, so it was just very, very hard to work around. Immediately what I started doing was I increased my water intake because if you don't know, if you're dehydrated, things hurt worse. So I increased my water intake. I did get massages. 6 months later, the pain was still there. I'm taking Motrin and Tylenol, and I started to accept my fate. And before you guys say, well, why didn't you go to the doctor? Well, I didn't go because I felt like it wasn't a doctor type of problem. I felt like my gut was just telling me that it was something else. So I wrote it out. About 8 months in, I take this continuing education course for massage, and they had mentioned about frozen shoulder and menopause and how it happens mostly in women between the ages of 40 and 60. So right there, the light bulb went off. And I thought, well, what do you do about it? Well, basically I was to continue doing what I was doing. I was stretching, I was getting massages, I increased my water intake like I said. I took Motrin to bring down the inflammation, Tylenol to kind of help take the pain away. It never took the pain away, but it did make it so things were doable. It's crazy. So 9 months in, I work out of a chiropractor's office. So I had my chiropractor work on my shoulder, and my shoulder was out of place, but where it was out of place wasn't necessarily where the pain was. So I waited it out. One day I woke up and the pain was completely gone. So on this episode of, is Mother Nature punking me? This is the stuff that I'm going through. A few years back, now this wasn't as extensive or as painful, but I thought I had carpal tunnel. My thumb hurt so bad, and it hurt like all the way down into here. And I need my right hand. I'm very, very right-handed. So that was hard to work with. And that one I had trouble sleeping and everything, but it lasted a few months and it miraculously went away. I did the same thing that I normally do when I have pain. Of course, I'm thinking maybe I'm dehydrated, so I increase the water, Tylenol, Motrin, stretch it, whatever. But, so there's that. I hope that some of this information helps you guys. And by the way, thank you guys so much for the comments on my last video. Somebody had mentioned that their elbows hurt. I don't think I've experienced that. Of course, brain fog, if I did, it was probably very short-lived, but it reminded me about how painful my shoulder was. And somebody else had commented that, about the water and exercising and, getting a good group of friends to, kind of help with your support system. So I thank you all for all your advice and your comments and making me feel as though I'm definitely not alone in this. I appreciate you so much, and I'll talk to you soon. Thanks.